What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, back for another video. And this time we go back and we hit those questions. There have been a lot of questions recently that are epic, and I really have to share this knowledge with all of you guys. I'm actually out of town. I'm visiting one of the cities that I used to live in, Texas. Some of you guys might be in this area. It's the Dallas area. And I'm here live with my sister's pug. So pugs gone wild up in Texas, and we're gonna get wild on those questions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. Right, so we're here on my screen share, and again, like I said, I'm not at home, so you might hear a pug going wild. I apologize in advance, but at least somebody's excited about the video because my cat is never excited. So let's go ahead and jump into these questions. All right, so this first question comes from A Dissident, and it says, people, including high earners, leave Amazon for many reasons. So no, it's not the best time to get in. The best times are overdue if you have no other business ideas. Well, while I do tend to agree and disagree with that, there are a lot of high earners that are getting out of Amazon, but it's for different reasons and different circumstances. Amazon has become a cash-intense business, which means if you don't have enough money to actually do Amazon, I do not recommend getting into Amazon. What constitutes enough money? And I'm talking about particular Amazon FBA. The amount of money that you need to start Amazon FBA is really downplayed by a lot of the gurus because at the end of the day, they want you to buy their courses and they tell you that it's very cheap to get into Amazon when the reality is, like I said, it's become increasingly expensive. And that's for the number one reason that you have to pay to rank your product. So I recommend Amazon is still a good business model if you have about $25,000 that you're willing to invest. And remember, it is a big investment. It does take time, money, and effort to actually build the business. And it could be 6 months to a year before you even actually start to reap the benefits. So again, if you don't have a lot of money, I do recommend at minimum amount, you at least have 11,000, even though I do recommend 25K at least. So fantastic question, A Dissident. The next question that we have is from Digital Dingo. And Digital Dingo says, do you know why all of my books say temporarily out of stock? We are working hard to be back in stock as soon as possible. And it says, however, I am in Australia and they are available on amazon.com.australia. The big thing is right now because of COVID and right now because of the increased buying on Amazon USA, we're probably gonna see a lot of this happening as the printing houses are having a lot of trouble keeping up. And this is now my prediction, just understanding this and understanding that these books are taking a long time to actually deliver. I'm starting to think that they're just backlogged also with books being uploaded. And it's gonna be very common to see this happen throughout the holidays. In fact, the delivery times are probably gonna get longer and longer, and the book approval times will also probably get longer and longer. So it's no surprise that this is happening. Again, like I said before, the sky is not falling. This is all because of COVID. And then on top of that, you have to consider that we might go on lockdown a second time, and that's the entire USA, or at least most of it. So as a result, I think we could almost guarantee that this is going to be an increasing problem as the holidays grow nearer and nearer and buying demand grows larger and larger. All right, so on to the next question, which is Anna. Anna basically says the gist of it, she can't get her KDP business to take off, but her merch business is taking off. And she has over 400 books on KDP and 25 shirts. She's making a lot more with the 25 shirts. What can she do? She's tried all sorts of instructions from all sorts of gurus. Well, this is the advice I'm gonna give you, Anna, and this is why I think it's important for any entrepreneur out there to throw shit at the wall. And what I mean by that is that you should always be throwing at least 3 or 4 different things at the wall and seeing which one sticks. So in this case, you threw 2 pieces of shit at the wall, which is Amazon KDP and Amazon merch. And it just so happens that merch stuck. So what I would recommend to you is I would spend more of my time, in fact, about 80% of my time doing just merch and perhaps 20% doing KDP. If you can't get any traction on the KDP, I would continue to do full throttle merch and try and get that business to explode. Now, here's the other thing. KDP will still be there when you get back. You still have your account. So for now, I would focus all my time, energy, and effort into merch and kind of leave KDP off to the side, make it your side chick, don't put too much attention to it, stick to the main one, and in the future, potentially go back to KDP. Now, it might come to the point where you don't want to go back to KDP, which is fine, but focus on the business that is making you the most money, and then while you're doing that, you might want to throw another little couple pieces and see what happens. So that's my advice to you. I wouldn't take it personally. There's a lot of businesses that I start that I think are gonna just crush it and they end up being not so good. And then I have to kind of scale back and focus on the ones that are making me money. So hopefully this helps you, Anna. All right, Agnieszka asks, hi Liz, as always, I love your videos. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. It's highly appreciated. Can you make a video? What happens if we want our kids to inherit our KDP merch or other POD accounts? Has it been solved legally? I live in Central Europe. So my advice to you on this actual question is I would contact a business broker as soon as your business actually reaches a pretty good amount of income, particularly if you have standard operating procedures in place and you have a nice passive income that has been trained to VAs or you're doing. But again, the key here is to have standard operating procedures so that your business can completely run hands off and you can just hand these over to the new owner. That's going to be key. But these business brokers are extremely savvy and they transfer Amazon accounts all day long. So they'll clearly be able to tell you how to actually transfer these. Now, the other piece of advice is I hope this KDP account is not attached to one of your Amazon accounts, as if it's not, the transfer can be quick and easy, as it'll just be the transfer of the actual email itself. So great question. Let's go to the next one. This one comes from Salma Rayoko. It says the breaking news are low content books are taking much longer to be approved. Amazon is cracking down on them, is likely ever to sell any copies. I think this is just complete fear on Salima's part. And I made an entire video dedicated to answering this comment. The sky is not falling with KDP now, nor will it ever fall. Of course, it is going to get increasingly difficult, as is every aspect of every business that we jump into. At one point, if you were a pioneer, you crushed it. And now, again, you have to put a little bit of elbow grease into the business, including money for PPC, as well as a lot of effort. So the sky is not falling. It's not dead. Don't pay attention to this, no matter who you are. Don't be afraid. Any business out there can make money as long as you put effort into it. All right, so the next question comes from Isabel, and Isabel says, you talk many times about building your own mailing list, but how do you do that? I do recommend, if you guys want to learn how to build that mailing list, number one, you get something like ConvertKit, which is an autoresponder, and I have done multiple videos on the actual topic called Bestseller Secrets. So if you want to learn how to build that list, watch that video. It shows you all about ConvertKit and all about automating the process of getting people to come into your lander and then tagging them and know exactly which book they had purchased. That way you can collect their email addresses to use for things like mailing out to them, launching brand new books, and even like Jade Summer does, which is sneakily ask for reviews. So again, I've made about 3 videos like that, and I hope you guys take a look at those, as it will show you the exact process to do this step by step. So great question, Isabel. Now we go to John, who says, when selecting categories during publishing, none of the categories I see on other products are available. Why is this? Well, the answer to that is it's pretty simple. Amazon is constantly changing what it feels are relevant categories for your actual book. So if you're not finding the categories that you feel like you want to duplicate from the best sellers, then look for other categories that are more relevant towards your actual niche. And in some regards, like I said, Amazon has those grandfathered and has those books grandfathered into the old categories. But the reality is that those old categories don't suit them as much as the brand new ones that Amazon has created. So that's the reason you're not seeing some of the older categories. So like I said, just find the category that you feel is most relevant. Don't stick your children's, toddlers coloring books in the Amazon Canada books, just like we saw in one of my videos. Make sure it's in a section where it's relevant to toddlers and it's relevant to coloring. So great question, John. Thank you for asking that. Wysal says, happy birthday, Liz. Thank you. You are an awesome woman. I appreciate that, Wysal. Please, Liz, if you can make a video from niches research to submitting products in every detail. So Wasal is asking for a brand new from A to Z for KDP beginners. If any of you other people out there would like that, just let me know in the comments and I will definitely get to work on that. I usually cater my videos to the audience, which seems to be a more savvy KDP audience. But if we do get a lot of beginners in here that want to know that, I will certainly spend some time and dedicate it to that to help brand new people learn all about this actual amazing business. So fantastic question, Wysal. Next up, Anne says, can you do a video explaining the timeline and when to do? If I make a Christmas book in June, when do I release it, advertising, etc.? I just had good success with Thanksgiving book that I put up in October, but my Christmas book isn't doing well as it's released in November 1st. Yeah, my recommendation, and this is my hard recommendation, is I would start on the production of a book at least 3 months in front of when the date is due. So let me kind of give you an example. In Amazon FBA, one of the things that happens is the last call to order products from China for Christmas is at the very beginning of July. So basically we got July, August, September, October, and November. So 5 months, or actually 4 months until we break into the thick of things. So for KDP, since you're not taking something out of China. It doesn't have to be shipped in, but it does have to be drawn or developed or whatnot, created and all that. I would probably look at making that a 3-month in advance timeline, just in case it takes the actual designer about 2 weeks or so to create it. You now have 2.5 months to market it, to put it up there, to run some kind of giveaway if you need to, and finally to start running PPC to collect some traction. So I would do it 3 months in advance, beginning with the actual design, and then 2.5 months to 2 months is when you should actually start the marketing. So hopefully that helps, but that's a quick gist of how to actually figure that out. All right, Mahir says here, my question is, can you have a broad, exact, and phrase match of the same keyword in the same campaign? I keep getting mixed opinions from Amazon PPC support staff. Some say it conflicts, some say it doesn't, others say it's fine. So the truth is, Mahir, you never want to listen to the Amazon support staff when it comes to PPC. Those guys are just going by some SOP manual that usually is half-assed. Amazon doesn't know what the hell's going on with their customer service reps, so you clearly do not want to take advice from them on a PPC skill. So what happens when you put all 3 actual categories or match types of keywords in the same campaign? They do, to a certain degree, cannibalize one another. So what a lot of the top PPC experts do is they put them in the same campaign, but they put them in ad groups or ad sets. So you'll have one ad set for broad, one for phrase, one for exact, and while they will cannibalize each other to a certain extent, it won't be too bad. So what I usually typically like to run now is an exact and a phrase, and I pretty much ignore the broad altogether. So yes, you can put them into the same actual campaign, but separate them in the groups. And don't worry about the fact that it actually cannibalizes them, as the goal of the first round is to figure out which style of keyword converts better, exact or phrase. Once you find out, what you can do is go ahead and pull those keywords and put them in their own campaigns, and you won't have both broad or phrase and exact together because you already pulled the best performing one. So you'll know exactly which one converts best, and you'll be able to use just that one in a brand new campaign. So that's kind of how I would go about it. All right, so the next question is from Kevin. He says, it would be interesting to see you research Hopscotch Girls, which is a top 10 children's coloring book for a long time. While I did do that, Kevin, in a quick and brief video that is coming out very soon, I will go ahead and buy the book and then review it live and in a video. So thank you for suggesting that. I always appreciate book suggestions, as I love to look at books. Sage asks, could you do a video on diverse picture books for kids keywords? Well, I did kind of do that, Sage. I looked it over and there really wasn't a lot of data and or information. What I might do is take a couple more suggestions from the audience and then throw it all together, but just doing one on that is gonna be a very small video, which would probably be 1 or 2 minutes maximum. So I'll go ahead and get some other suggestions and then do one for you and come out with those results. And that's pretty much it for the questions of the week. Again, always put your questions in our comments below. No matter what question it is, I will answer it. And as always, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys very soon, back when I'm home in Miami. So see you soon.